Yesterday I talked about Kintsugi, that right there, and that is the art of like uh, having broken things and putting it back together and reinforcing it with gold, like embellishments and things like that. There's another part to it, part to it, which is revealing the scars. Actually revealing the scars and not hiding them. Good morning. Uh, think about this. We've all had trials and tribulations and troubles, and really, you have survived 100% of all of those things, all of those experiences, all those negative things that's happened to you. You've survived it. What do you think the reason for that is? Mostly because, for one thing, you're like a warrior in this life, and bad things can happen to you, but you learn from that. You learn from those experiences. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from the hurts, the people that hurt you. And when you gain experience that way, people who come to you can find hope. So your experience gives hope to the future of others. I think that's why God allows certain things to happen to certain people, because they are, like I said, out of living your life, your ikigai, living your purpose, the mistakes and everything that you have and that you come up with or come up against you, as you conquer those things and overcome them, and God has his hand on you and you are able to build that testimony. So in Kintsugi is really having broken pieces, putting it back together with gold. So it reveals the scars. You know what I mean? It reveals the scars. It doesn't really hide them. It shows that you received wisdom from it. You are a great vessel to be used, and everything that you that's happening to you, you're using it for your good. What is it? Romans 8:28. Everything good and bad is, good for you. Thank you. It's all about finding your strength. And that strength comes from the things that's happening to you. Now, we have these things that break down. Now, like I said, people deal with things differently. So what's happening to me, you might just overcome it and just be like, whatever. And I'm balling in the closet, But the things that's breaking us down and building us up, thanks to, I couldn't get it out. The things that are breaking us down and that's really giving us our life experiences are the things that God is using to not only build you up, but to build up the things that come for you to minister to your children and your children's children, to leave your legacy. Okay? And I got a pot coming. You see how this looks, how it has these things. It makes it prettier. And when you look upon somebody who's been through a lot, when we look at Nelson Mandela and the things that he went through, and him and his wife and all of the things that he went through, we see a beautiful person, a strong person. And it's like, man, I want to be strong like that. But you know, what you're asking for is all the things that he went through too. Those things that he went through made him strong. So God knows what he's doing. In Kintsugi, there's this little story about a pot, two pots. And a lady would have that long stick, you know, and had two pots on there for water. Well, one of the pots was cracked. And she would go down to the stream, she'd dip one in, get the full pot, dip one in, get a full pot from the cracked pot, and walk all the way home. Now, as she's walking home, the cracked pot would leak. So by the time she got home, she would only have a full pot and a half pot of water. The full pot, the whole pot would, you know, I did my job. I got all the water home. And the crack pot would, you know, it did the best it could. It took that and it did the best it could. And after 2 years, he finally got frustrated and was saying, you know, he went to the woman, he talked to the woman, and he was like, I'm sorry that I can't be all that you want me to be. By the time you get home, I'm only bringing you half a pot of water. And what he said, you know, she looked at him, she was like, I know you're cracked. Did you ever notice that all of the flowers on the side of the road? And he was like, yeah. She's like, I planted those. I put the seeds out. And every day that we walk, you water those flowers. And now look at them. There's a beautiful path for me to take home. You had a purpose. I knew you were cracked. He couldn't hide the fact that he was cracked because he was cracked. But God had a purpose for him. In this story, in that sense, God really has a purpose for you. He knows you're cracked. And everything that you have on the inside of you, you know, as long as you living, that's what Ikigai is. As long as you living your purpose out, as long as you living your best life that you can, and glorifying Him at the very core of your being, you know, those things that we go through have purpose. Kintsugi highlights those cracks and reveals even personal or generational flaws. You know, the mistakes that we have, and like I said, the way we've been hurt by people. You know, that those imperfections make a beautiful story, your story. And that's what Wabi Sabi is all about. You know, the imperfections, making perfections. Our weaknesses are being, you know, made up by God into a perfect a life. Our weaknesses and our imperfections are just leaning towards perfection as God molds us and shapes us. So, what I want you to do today, I got kind of long, just take time to reflect. And as you reflect on your life, as you think about the things that's happening to you or has happened to you, look and remember that you survived 100% of all the negative experiences that you've ever gone through. Okay? And if you learn the lessons, you know what this means. If you learn the lessons, when you start to see somebody head down that path, you can say, hey, don't do that. You can look at your children and say, hey, this is what I did. You about to do the same thing, and it's going to be worse because we're in a different day and time. So allow Him to put the broken pieces back together again and let's be stronger than the day we were. Be stronger than we were yesterday. All right. So you guys have an awesome day. Here comes that fist bump. Ooh, boom.